In light of the tragic event that happened over the weekend, we're going to talk about the word sacrifice. And I mean in the literal sense. So, here's a definition: sacrifice, noun. An act of offering to a deity something precious, especially the killing of a victim on an altar. Sacrifice. Now let's hear it used in a sentence.
So again, thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice.
Okay, so there you go, sacrifice. And in the case of George Floyd, Nancy Pelosi saw that as a sacrifice for whatever she considers justice, which is whatever the Democrats want. So they're not above using the death of someone else to their advantage. And that tradition goes on till today. Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, this is Keith and welcome to the Ghetto Sapien channel, your home of inner city intelligence. So like I was saying, there was a tragedy that happened over the weekend. 10 to 11 people, I'm not sure of the number at this moment, but it's between 10 and 11 victims of, it looks like a racist attack. White guy killing, I think 10 or 9 to 10 black people, 2 white people. I'm saying most likely he's racist because I read parts of his manifesto and he doesn't hide that fact. But the bigger issue is that this should be, to me, it be in the news for like one day national because of course it is a tragedy, it's horrible. There have been other slaughters, mass shootings this year, which also I believe should be in the news for a day and then just go local after that. But again, the bigger picture is this is going to be used politically. The reason being is the Democrats are looking at a red wave. It's been predicted over and over again that they're very low in the polls. The economy is is a roaring dumpster fire. We've had things that's never happened before. We're running out of baby formula. That's never happened before. So the Democrats are looking really bad. They need something to change the subject. And you're foolish to think that they wouldn't use the deaths of these people to change that subject. Look, I'm beyond cynical at this point, so I'm not even going to hold back. I think some of them are kind of happy this happened. There I said. So, yeah, so they're going to take total advantage of this. And it shouldn't be the case. Again, it should be a national story for one day and a local story should be followed up with after that. I don't think the country's split on this, and that's the thing. There's no need to split us apart. Most people, I'll wager to say, most people in this country hate what happened. This is a horrible tragedy. Everyone feels bad for the family, the victims. It's a terrible way to go, and no one is going to be warmly embracing the killer. So this is an easy thing for any president, even one as lame and as inept and as dumb as Joe Biden, to bring this country together on this. It's not hard. But he's going to be out there Tuesday after not being able to go out, finding no way of going out to around Christmas time. There was a slaughter. A black guy slaughtered about 6 young and elderly people in Wisconsin. He ran them over with his car. Joe Biden was asked, was he going to go out and visit the victims? Couldn't make it, didn't have time. His schedule didn't allow it. In this case, though, and I'm sure it's because of the makeup of the victims and the predator, Joe Biden's going to be there Tuesday. So this happened on Sunday. He's going to be there Tuesday. He's cleared his calendar. I'm sure his busy calendar to be out there. And what are the chances that Joe Biden's going to use this to bring us together? All you have to do is look at his track record on COVID and how he used that to bring us together too. Of course, he didn't. He had the mask mandate, the vaccine mandate. He used that to divide people. And he's going to do a bang-up job of dividing people over this tragic event. I'm sure he's going to blame the right. He's going to make it look like this guy was a conservative, whatever, and split the country again. Because that's the only way Democrats are going to win. They have to divide the country. And again, it's completely unnecessary. I think most of us are on the same page with this. But the politicization of these tragic deaths has happened already. It's already started. It started, of course, in the media. They are reliably divisive. So in the New American, they point out how the Buffalo shooting suspects manifesto reveals leftist leanings. First of all, I'm glad that he used leftist instead of liberal, because there's a big difference, and sometimes people make that mistake. And the other thing is, it's sad that this even needs to be written. That we have to go into politics so quickly after the bodies aren't even cold in the grave yet. But magazines like Rolling Stone have already said, have come up with headlines saying that not only is this killer a Republican, but he's a mainstream Republican. There's nothing in this manifesto, it's 180 pages, that indicates this guy's on the right and or a Republican, or has any mainstream Republican or conservative views. So this is a lie they need to put out there, hoping that you don't read past the headlines. And the media doesn't care how much they divide the country. They're just trying to sell clicks. It's clickbait. Anyway, so the article, despite clear evidence that his name is, I'm not going to say his name, I'll just say PG, his initials. So despite clear evidence that PG, the suspect in a mass killing in Buffalo, New York, is a leftist anti-Christian crackpot, the leftist media are suggesting that not only is he some sort of conservative, but also the man responsible for motivating him is Fox News' Tucker Carlson. And look, the reason why they got to blame Tucker, they got to throw this at him, is because, Trump isn't around, he's not as easy to point at, and Tucker Carlson's ratings are just too damn high. He's a big influencer. He's killing almost all his competition, so you gotta find some way to throw this in Tucker's face. So PG's putative 180-page manifesto complains that Jewish-controlled and influenced global elites are replacing the largely white populations of the West in general, and the United States in particular, with non-whites from the third world. First of all, I'd like to point out that if your 18-year-old son has written a 180-page manifesto, you might need to take him to therapy. At 18, I'm not writing an 180-page anything, and I have two young adults. I remember when they were 18. You couldn't get them to write 180 pages to pass a class if they had to. This is highly unusual, and the parents should have been on this. They should have read that 180-page, unless they helped them write it. In either case, his household needs to be checked out just to see because it's producing bad fruit, if you ask me. So anyway, his 180-page manifesto really shows you what he's about, and he's not a conservative. So here's some quotes from it. When I was 12, I was deep into communist ideology. Talk to anyone from my old high school and ask about me, and you'll hear that. So at 12, he was a communist. Anyway, from ages 15 to 18, and remember he's 18 now. However, I consistently move further to the right, and I'm sure the writers at Rolling Stone stopped reading right there. But if you read on, it says, on the political compass, I fall in the mid-moderate authoritarian left category. Authoritarian left, you see? Right there. And I would prefer to be called a populist. You're not a conservative. He elaborates on his left-wing populist stance. I would prefer to call myself a populist, but you can call me and here we go. This is what a manifesto. But you can call me an ethno-nationalist, fascist, nationalist, socialist if you want. I wouldn't disagree with you. That's a lot to say. Just how about racist bastard? How about that? So he considers himself an ethno-nationalist, eco-fascist, national socialist. And Nazi, the Nazi Party, Nazi stood for National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. So that word socialist in there keeps popping up. That is not a conservative. Okay, are you a Christian? No, I did not ask God for salvation by faith, nor do I confess my sins to him. I personally believe there is no afterlife. Yeah, okay, so you're no Christian. I do, however, believe in and practice in many Christian values. Yeah. Thou shalt not kill is not one of them, obviously. Are you a conservative? No. Conservatism is corporatism in disguise. I want no part of it. Are you right wing? Depending on the definition, sure. Are you left wing? Depending on the definition, sure. So those two kind of cancel each other out. Are you a socialist? Depending on the definition. At least a little honest there, because most socialists I know can't define what a socialist is anyway. So depending on the definition, workers' ownership of the means of production. It depends on who those workers are, their intentions, who currently owns the means of production, their intentions, and who currently owns the state and their intentions. He sounds like a socialist to me, just totally confused and just gobbledygook. He's a collectivist, he's a centrist, he's a socialist, but I don't see how they found in any way, shape, or form the man's a Republican. That is what they hope. They're just basically not reading the manifesto and just throwing onto him any attributes or traits they want him to have. I'm talking about the mainstream media, which is really the left nowadays. But even if you don't go by what he says in his manifesto, look at what he does to identify which party and what ideology really drives him. Had he attacked an abortion clinic, I would think he's on the right, to be honest. Had he went after like the IRS or the Federal Reserve Board, I'd probably think he's an anarchist or maybe a libertarian. But he didn't do either one of those things. He went after an ethnic group. He went after black people, and again, some white people. What party harps on race the most? What party is extremely identitarian or ethnically? What party is always looking to segregate and separate from ethnic groups? That's the Democrats. That's on the left. They are obsessed with race. Everything's racist. Race is the original and unforgivable sin, and that's basically what defines the party. So to me, that makes him a creature of the left, to be so obsessed with race and how everything boils down to all your decisions are made because of your skin color, your ethnicity. So that's my conclusion. I go by what you say. I go more by what you do than what you say. And again, his actions to me show he's way more influenced by leftist doctrine, CRT, things like that, than anything on the right. But that's my opinion. What's yours? Right? Right. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. That's it.